Stones we carry, clothes we lived in, all the tales we will tell our children.
Well, here we are at the top of Romero Road and East Camino Cielo, and we're going to try our first backpacking trip. Make that bikepacking. So we're avid backpackers, never been bikepacking before. This is our first bikepacking trip. We have our rigs loaded down. I'm on the Salsa Warbird, Becky's on the Obed Boundary. We don't know if we brought all the right stuff. We don't know how our gear is going to hold up. We don't know how the bikes are going to handle. But we set ourselves up with a pretty good, easy downhill descent today to our campground. We're going to go down to the Santa Ynez River and take you guys along with us, and hopefully we just have a blast. So it's going to be a learning experience. Let's roll.
I'm setting the sun, I'm ready to run, I'm walking a tightrope. I give you the fall spring, singing a song, we're taking the high road.
So we're getting used to these bikes and the way that they handle on the downhill. They're a little heavier than we're used to, but it's so far been so good. And now we hit our first really fence that we have to get off and go over. So beyond this, it should be no car access and just bikes and hikes.
Hearts are wayward, sun is swollen, rest tomorrow, the ways unfolding. Oh, we're taking the high road.
So we're 3.7 miles in. I think the trip to the camp is about 8 miles. So we're almost halfway right here at this Los Padres National Forest sign. Coming in, when we started this ride where we parked the car, the road was really choppy. There were a lot of rocks and the gravel was really loose, and we were kind of thinking like, oh no, is this how the full 8 miles is gonna be? But thankfully, as soon as we got to that road closed sign, the gravel just becomes so nice. It's not loose anymore, it's pretty clear. We'll show you there's not as many rocks, and it's really easy to find a line even in the sections where there are rocks. So definitely don't worry if you get started. It is much better once you hit that road closed sign and move past that. Just a quick update on how the Obed Boundary is doing. Like Eric said earlier, this is the first maiden voyage that we're taking this bike on, and so far I'm really loving it. It just goes over all of the bumps and rocks really nicely. At one point I had to get the gears indexed a little bit, and Eric fixed that really easily. So now it's feeling really good, and I just love the look of this bike, how all the bags fit on it. So excited to see how it does over the whole weekend.
So we just did our first big descent down whatever this road is. I'll try to plug the road in somewhere right here maybe. So now that we just came down this road, we're hitting where we originally were gonna camp. So we just, at the bottom of that, you hit your first little creek. It kind of flattened out for a second. We crossed a bridge. We see a sign just up the road that shows for Blue Canyon. That's where we were gonna camp originally. But honestly, it looked like it was gonna be a little too fast. And now that we're down here in like 45 minutes, an hour, I think it would have been too fast. So we're gonna go farther, and also there's no fires allowed right now at that campground. So just make sure you check the Los Padres Forest Service website. They post all the rules about when and where you can have fires. And so because of that, we're gonna go on to the next camp where we have our fire permit and we're good to go for a good campfire.
I'm setting the sun, I'm ready to run, I'm walking a tightrope. I give you the fall spring, singing a song, we're taking the high road. We're taking the high road. We're finally awakened, we're taking the high road. As long as it takes us, we're taking the high road.
So we just wanted to check in now that we're at camp. We changed into our comfy clothes, we had our tent set up, we did a little bit more riding around the area, and we kind of wanted to tell you why we stayed at Middle Santa Ynez Camp. The real reason, the spot we wanted to stay, you can't have a campfire. So we said, okay, we got to find something new. So that took us back to the drawing board, stumbled across this place, looked great, we tried it out, and so far we love it. It's a kind of windy day out here, and you can't really feel it at all in this campground. You're totally tucked in. The other bonus is the trees also protect you from the sun. So you're out of the wind, you're out of the sun. The campgrounds look really beautiful. There's tons of them. We're the only one here, but there's enough space for 20 camps maybe. I don't know, we haven't counted them, but there's a lot of spots. There are bathrooms here, but we took a peek in and we said, you're probably better off going off in the woods somewhere.
This is the part we've been looking forward to all day.
Well, it's time to go to bed. It's getting dark out. We had a great first night here. Great only night here. Tomorrow I'm kind of dreading the climb out, but we're gonna play some cards.
I officially love bikepacking. I want to do many more trips. I think it's a perfect thing for us. We love the trails and gravel roads. We love biking. We love being outdoors and kind of off the grid without anyone around, and it checks all of those boxes for us, so I definitely see more bikepacking trips in the future. Want to hear a good termite joke? A toothless termite walked into a bar and says, "Where's the bartender?"
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff Carter, if you ever watch this, for that joke. It came in handy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We are checking in after our first night's sleep. I slept pretty good.
I slept great. There was lots of, as always, nights or noises in the night. So I would wake up every few hours and hear stuff. But I think we saw some deer bedding down around us before we went to bed. So I think it was all deer coming in to lay down.
I feel like I would sleep really solid, but then I'd wake up a lot. Because I couldn't get my air mattress right. So I'd have to let more air. But it was just kind of that part. But it was peaceful. Temperature wasn't good.
Yeah, temperature was great.
It definitely turned into sleeping bag cold in the middle of the night, but most of the night I don't ever actually zip up. Did you ever zip up?
Yeah, I was out. When we went to bed, it was nice and toasty in here when we were playing cards. So I was out of my sleeping bag when we went to bed, and then woke up and was like, oh, it's time to get in and zip up, because it was cold outside. Felt good in the sleeping bag, though.
And now, today, we just have to get up. We have our blueberry muffins out there, if they're still where we left them and no creatures took them. And then we pack and hit the trail for a bike ride. Big climb.
Today.
We had 2,000 feet of climbing back up to the car. So it'll be tough, but it should be fun. We'll take you guys with us. Whoop!
It was summer. We were skipping rocks down by the river. My heart red heart was so on fire. When I heard you laugh on the drive
biking our way back to the car from Middle Santa Ynez, and on the bike back we have 2 little warm-up climbs before our real climb. So we just did warm-up climb number 1. There's a road cutting across. That's our big climb out. So we know it's going to be a grueling day, but it's going to be fun. The weather is great. The gravel down here is beautiful. We passed a couple other bikers this morning, so we'll check in with you again when we're over there climbing out of this beast.
Remember when we were over there pointing out the ridge in the background and said we had to do that climb? Well, we just made it to the top of that ridge. So one good climb out of the way, but we still have a lot more climbing to do to get all the way back to the car. But feeling pretty good now. I think our legs are finally warming up, and we passed a lot of bike packers this morning that camped at a few different campgrounds around where we were at. So it's just fun to see other people out and enjoying the outdoors on their bikes like us.
Headed in different directions, that we'd always chase the sun.
If you look off into the distance, you can see a valley that goes down in the first ridge. Where we camped and where we went is actually over that ridge. You drop down, climb over that, and then drop down again. And that's where the main Santa Ynez River is, and that's where our campground was. So we're just enjoying this good gravel and steep roads. And it's just beautiful. It's crazy. Oh yeah, baby. And the thing. Well, that's it. That's the end of our first bike packing adventure. We just got back to the top of the climb, and it was actually really fun. I thought the climb was going to be miserable. It was hard, but it was fun, and you get paid off with this beautiful view up here. Now we just got to load the bikes up, go home, get a nice coffee, and probably a good lunch after that workout. It was great. I think we're definitely converted. We love bike packing now. We learned a lot. I think we packed better today for sure. I think we're just going to get better and better as we keep doing this. But see you on our next bike packing adventure. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. You're going to see more content like this here at SoCal Cyclist. We just want to show you routes around here, how to have fun on a bike, how to have an adventure with a bike and a friend. So just watch this channel and that's what you're going to see.